Hello, community. My name is Tural, and I am the Brand Communications and Content Manager for CLC. Today,
You're putting me in a hot seat. I understand. It's okay. We're in a hot seat together because we are scared of doing this, but we're going to do it anyway, right?
yes,
You got
yes,
this.
yes.
Come on. You got this. Our first episode.
Our first episode of Conscious Conversations.
Yeah, we're in the
Welcome,
hot
guys.
seat. Before we invite other guests, it's
Yes.
best that we test this out. Microphone check, camera check,
Yes.
confidence check.
Yes.
What's the first
Flow
question?
check, everything. Yes. Okay, so first question.
Mhm.
Who is Ellen beyond CLC?
Who am I beyond CLC? Wow. I am a daughter of the Most High Living God. That's how I like to define myself because I feel like this very business was an answered prayer. I'd spent time asking God what my purpose is in life. Where does He see me going? After having been a flight attendant, travel around the world with Emirates, being a mother, being a wife, lived up in multiple countries, started a charity, being a friend. So there were so many things that I had done in my life, graduated in the UK, but all of that felt like there's more. And I need to know from my father what that looks like. Because I feel like deep inside, it's not about the money. It's not about, being known. It's just about service. And I needed to understand from my father in heaven what that looks like for me while I have this time on earth. And while I have the time, while I have the resources, what does that look like? Is the question that I was asking God. So beyond CLC, I am a daughter of the Most High Living God. I remain surrendered to His word, His direction, His ideas, His guidance, His wisdom, His knowledge. Um, in every aspect of my life, He is the one that I seek. So I'm a daughter.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And I love that you framed it and looked at it with a perspective of what does that look like? Because so many of us are asking that question, we don't know. So it's really cool that you're taking that angle with it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Question 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you feel CLC needed to exist?
It goes back to definitely the first answer that I gave, that it needed to exist through prayer, through what does God want me to do with my life. And it's such an important question to ask the one that made you, because He had an idea from when you were formed in your mother's womb. He had an idea of what life looked like for you before the world defined you. So it wasn't a matter of why did I feel like CLC needed to exist, but it's why God thought that it needed to exist through me. Because I try to remove myself. I even say to my team that God is a CEO. I try to remove myself from building this because also it takes away the pressure of what it means to be a founder, what it means to be an entrepreneur, that you need to pay the rent, you need to pay your team, you need to think of ideas, you need to think of a strategy, you need to think of so many things, you wear so many hats. But then, of course, there's also you, your mom, maybe your wife, but also you're just a girl, and when you take away that pressure from yourself and say, I'm making it about God, like what is it that you want? What is it? What idea did you have? Because as I said, I pray to Him for what He sees for my life, and the vision that I saw was marketplaces like Take a Lot, Etsy, Pick and Pay, Woolworths, and I thought, oh my goodness, how would I even start? How do you even start a marketplace? Do I have the knowledge, the tech, the financial background? But I knew that I would be obedient to His calling. So it wasn't that I needed it to exist, but I needed God to work through me, and that's how I've been journeying through. Yeah,
that's beautiful. You actually answered my next question.
Okay.
You actually answered my next question. We was going to be, what has been the most challenging part of building CLC? And there's a few things that you definitely mentioned that I think falls under that.
Yeah. So the most difficult things of building CLC, I would say the very first one on the top of the list is building a team. Having people that can almost look at you and remove you from what you're building. Because some people would look at you and think, oh, I don't want to work for her, you know, and it's like, you're not working for me, I'm also working for the brand.
Yeah.
So building a team that first of all understand who they are, what they want to do, and how they envision as the CLC helping them get to that level. It's a very powerful thing that I think a lot of founders need to also look into, that when you're hiring someone, find out about their dreams as well, find out what is it that is important to them. As much as they're helping you build your vision, they also have dreams. And if you're able to help them achieve those dreams through what the ecosystem that's already existing through what you're building, that's amazing. And I know that I want to go far, and that's why it's important to build a very strong team of people that understand themselves, that also have their own dreams, but they are also committed and consistent in helping you build the vision that God has given me in this example. So yeah, building a strong team, and constantly also the other thing that's challenging is also, as a business founder, you need to also be multifaceted person. You can't just know one thing and not know the other. So your research is very important. So constantly staying on research in multiple things like marketing, social media, sales, HR, and in our field, sustainability, what's happening with climate change, environmental and social economic challenges that people are facing. So and staying on top of that research and allowing yourself to learn something new, it's a challenge, because also you've got life, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other challenging thing is, I think it's more like your social environment can change a little bit, because when you're so passionate about something, it means that you can't carry like your close community with you. They might not understand, and that can be your husband, that can be your children, that could be your friends. So if you have a really good support system, that can really enable you to go as far as life can take you. But a lot of the times it can be a very isolating journey, because you leave a lot of people behind, because they don't understand that you might have to work on a Sunday, or you might have to work on a Saturday. So that's also something that I find quite challenging when it comes to the social and support structure when you're building something that you're really passionate about. Yeah.
Question 4.
Okay.
How do you decide which brands to bring into CLC?
Who? When I first started a brand, I knew that I wanted to work with our brand to be about empowering small business and startups, right? If you're starting your young brand, you've been cooking a little product concoction in your kitchen and you want to take it into a marketplace. And how beautiful it is to have a marketplace that has a full ecosystem where it comes to e-commerce, to a team, to a physical store, right? Where you can test your products, fail fast, and then try again. However, that's how I started. But as I continued along and learning in my journey of what customers actually want, customers are not always prone to trying new things, particularly when it comes to categories such as lifestyle, beauty, and body care. Maybe home decor and fashion. If the quality of the product is good, they might try it, but other products they might not try it. So I quickly learned that now my characteristics of choosing a brand or criteria is that you need to have done your own research and have a brand presence already with reviews of like people that have actually tried your product. And then of course a checklist of sustainable or ethics that we have in our store, such as your packaging. Is it a recyclable packaging? What is the end use of their products once the customer has finished using that body butter or facial cream, right? And what sort of ingredients are in there, and where are these ingredients sourced? Who made your product, and are they getting paid a fair minimum wage? So there's a lot of things. And however, when you're building in a country where the resources are not always available to you, as far as the supply chain, as far as the manufacturing facilities and factories, and of course team and funding can create barriers to breaking into a more sustainable business. So there are some things that I encourage the founders to communicate that to your customer. Write it in a tag that, hey, this might not be an all natural perfume, it's an alcohol perfume, but if you wanted to support a local perfumer, you're supporting me instead of buying one from an international brand. So those are the sort of things that I do. But of course, I've altered a lot of things just because of the challenges that businesses face to build a sustainable brand.
Do you think consumers here are becoming more conscious?
Certainly in Cape Town, I feel that they are. People are more aware of what they use, particularly on their skin, what they wear. And since we've had the store, the sea pointers, if I can call them that, Cape Townians, they are definitely more conscious of the products that they consume.
Yeah.
But we have to be realistic of the fact that we are on the African continent. The economical challenges will play a bigger role than the environmental one. People are more aware of, hey, if I'm going to buy a toothbrush, I'd rather buy one for 52 rand a clicks than buy a sustainable one for 120 rand. So then it creates an opportunity for us to provide the education to the customer as to why swap from your conventional toothbrush to a sustainable one, right? And so when it comes to our country, education is such a big thing, but not from just an environmental point of view, but from an economical one, because you're talking to someone who would rather save money for bread than buy a sustainable tampon, for example. So, which is actually one of the studies that I want to do in future, to understand how can we help people transition better from just not looking at the economical side of things, but also an environmental one. Because when you go to places such as townships, these are the people that have a greater impact, because of the services might not be provided to them, as far as litter being picked up, or rubbish collection. Municipal facilities are not easily accessible as you would go to like a suburb, and you find that a lot of when they dump illegal dumping sites, because of nobody's picking up, the municipality might not be picking up all that rubbish for them. So they are the ones that are mostly impacted by this, and the education would also assist the younger ones about littering and the impacts of that. Yeah.
That's a very good answer. Thank you for that.
Okay.
So this month,
Yes.
the theme is Earth Month,
Yeah.
right? So what about this month's Earth Edit excites you the most?
What excites me the most about Earth Month is being able to provide our community with the education about the earth, not just the education, but also a solution. So we've created beautiful boxes, the Earth Month edit boxes, where the idea there is to help you journey into a sustainable lifestyle, helping you swap from a plastic toothbrush to a sustainable bamboo toothbrush, from a toothpaste that's conventional to a toothpaste tablet, from a plastic water bottle to a glass water bottle, and of course our not aesthetic, but our staple piece, which is our conscious Mozambique lifestyle tote bag. But it really is not just about the products, but it's about really making this accessible to everyone. From the price point as well, to the quality, to the presentation, we want these boxes to be able to reach as many people as we can. And every month there'll be a new theme, but this all depends on how the Earth Month boxes go. So that's the most exciting part for me, is the education and pairing that with the solution through sustainable products that are made by small businesses.
That's a very beautiful concept. I'm actually so excited about it. Very, very brilliant. I love that there's a solution to it. You're not just informing and educating, but you're actually helping. Personal philosophy. Are
Sure.
you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you think conscious living is more about intention or action?
Hmm. The reason why I would have called our brand Conscious Lifestyle Collective is because of that. It starts with consciousness. Um, the more you're aware of something, the more you're able to put action behind it. You cannot put action if you didn't know how whatever you were doing is negatively impacting people, impacting the environment. Um, and yes, a lot of the action will take a while, because we tend to be to procrastinate as humans, or sometimes it's not so easily accessible to journey into this sort of lifestyle. But it's all about your intentions are good. Your actions might not be matching, but it's a fact that you are already conscious of that. Do you know what I mean? So, and yeah, it takes a long time. Even if I say it takes a long time, I actually want to reiterate, actually change that by saying that as Africans, South Africans, we've always been sustainable, right? We've always been a community that was brought up with ice cream tubs turned into storage boxes,
Yes.
with hand-me-downs from our brothers and sisters,
Yes.
with borrowing sugar and oil from the neighbors, you know, you having dinner with this neighbor and you sharing lunch with that. Like, we've always been a sustainable nation. But of course, things have changed. Time has changed because we're now 2 minutes noodles. We're now 2 minutes in the microwave. Things are a lot faster. We have now, washing machines and dishwashing machines. But then when you look back at our journey, we were always sustainable. Plastics were turned into a little mat. There's so many things that our grandparents did that were upcycling and recycling a lot of the waste that was created within the home, and of course growing our own food. But life has moved on so much that we've kind of become part of how the West lives, right? So really, as conscious Muslims, it's really, really about also reminding ourselves where we come from. The intention is there. We just have to back it up with an action.
What is something that you are still figuring out?
Hmm. I think what is something that I'm not figuring out is the right question. Wow. I don't think there's a stop to not figuring things out. There's always something that one doesn't know. And I'm sure your question means just generally, not necessarily just business. So there's a lot that I'm still figuring out. Don't want to bring up some personal stuff, but definitely the question is, what am I not figuring out? Because I don't know everything. Like last night I went to bed at 2 a.m. and I shared with you that I was busy with my retirement, applications, annuity, busy with my tax-free bank save. Like, I'm always still learning and figuring things out, and you're never too old. And I love that about life. So what am I not figuring out?
Okay. One brand you love right now that's in your store.
Conscious anxiety. A bit biased. A bit biased. Definitely conscious anxiety. I love the advocacy. I love the advocacy of where this is going and how this is going to help start conversations and education, and of course providing that solution. Yeah.
Beautiful. One item you can't live without.
Ooh, some aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Yes. Oh my god.
Pure aloe vera.
Listen, that is a necessity.
Listen, can I tell you the ways you can use aloe vera?
So please tell me.
When you've injured yourself,
Uh-huh.
just put some aloe vera. Sunburn, aloe vera. Listen, if you've been in the sun for a long time, you want to cool your skin down, aloe vera. If you would like to maybe hydrate your skin before bedtime, apply it as a mask, aloe vera. It's just a nice product. And of course, with my slick hair, listen, aloe vera, help those edges, honey.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I've asked you most of my questions. So we're heading for closing now.
Okay.
So, what would you say to someone who wants to start living more consciously?
If you would like to start living consciously, just start. Just start by educating yourself and taking small steps towards change. That's all that's all that matters. I'll tell you a little bit, if I may, on how I started. Maybe in another video we'll do more of like a long chat about that. But I was living in the UK at the time, and they had 4 bins. So one for general waste, one for glass, one for recyclable items, and compost. I thought these are a lot of bins. Every time I have to throw something away, I have to think which bin.
You need to figure out where this is going.
Yes, exactly. Additionally, every Wednesday we had a pink bag delivered to our door, and this pink bag you can add some, secondhand clothing. I believe also bras, and these were for people with leukemia, cancer patients. and they would get donated some of the items to hospitals. And I thought, wow, this is so like awareness. Like this is just intriguing. Like how a nation lives like this, and every household is doing and following the same like route. And then additionally, they were also educating on food. You know, they had meat that was not meat, like the vegan products, and educating on just little ingredients and farming. Like I learned about free range chicken. I'm sorry if y'all always knew about free range chicken, but I learned about free range chicken in the UK, and why we buy free range chicken, that the chicken's actually free and it's not in a cage, and all these little things. So once you find yourself with the awareness, take the chance, take the small step, and remove certain things that are not in your home, that are in your home, that are not sustainable. And when it comes to particularly things like fashion, this is a big one that we would have to definitely have a conversation about, but also just educating yourself where the products are made, who made the product, are they getting paid a fair minimum wage, and then making that research to see where else could you, who else can you support, or where else can you shop. So that's really about what conscious consumerism is about. So once you get the awareness, just start small bits, yeah, and maybe get our box.
That's actually very good. Thank you. And then last but not least, because we will be back in the seat with you.
This is nice, by the way. Yeah.
What is next, CLC?
Wow. Besides the YouTube channel and the newsletter and the conscious conversations and
the April box
and the box. I mean, what is next? That's what's next. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
For now, I would say what is next for CLC, particularly in this month of April, is conscious conversations. So find us here on YouTube and short videos on Instagram and TikTok for conscious conversations. Secondly, we have the box edits every single month. We are so excited to put and curate these thoughtful boxes for you to help you in your journey of sustainable living. And we have newsletters that are coming up. So if you love to read and you also want to, save some bucks, do subscribe as well to our newsletter. The fourth thing is we also have in-store events. And these events are an opportunity for you to meet the makers, try out a workshop, enjoy a preview, and we have a chef who, will have a spread for us and some drinks and nice music, nice ambience. So those events are amazing. So those are the 4 top things that you can look out for in April and going forward. And we continue to add new brands. We've just introduced some activewear in our store and some more lifestyle brands as well. So the brand is definitely growing, and we are excited as well to be growing with it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You did well, guys.